morning, viewer. Welcome to our perspective. Here is the breaking news. 5 women who should have won a Nobel Prize. It was an all-men lineup of laureates for last year's Nobel Prizes in Medicine, Physics and Chemistry, awards which grant the recipients entry to the most prestigious club in science. That none of the 2021 winners in those categories were female was, for some critics, more evidence of systemic bias in science, with women already less likely to be given credit or named as lead author on scientific papers, despite more and more women participating in scientific research. However, others say last year was a blip in a broadly positive trend, pointing to a lag effect that results from the Nobel Committee typically honoring advances that happened 3 or 4 decades ago when there were fewer women in senior positions in scientific fields. David Pendlebury, a senior analyst at Claveret Analytics, analyzes how often a scientist's papers are cited by peers, which he says is an indicator of whether a person will win a Nobel Prize. 2 decades ago, it would be rare than I would find a woman, for example, to designate as a citation laureate, but as we move forward in time, we found there are more women in the top ranks of researchers, he said ahead of the 2020 Nobel Prize announcement next week. A citation laureate is someone considered likely to win a Nobel Prize. That's why I say it is inevitable that the Nobel Prize is going to be given to more and more women, and it will be geographically more diverse. In 2022, women Emmanuel Charpentier and Jennifer A. Doudna won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the development of the CRISPR method for genome editing, while Andrew Gage was part of a trio that won the Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery of a supermassive black hole. Winners in 2019, when the Nobel Committee asked nominators to consider diversity in gender, geography and field, were all men, while 2018 saw the first female winner for physics since 1963, Donna Strickland. It is notoriously tricky to predict who will win a Nobel Prize, an honor established by Swedish industrialist Alfred Nobel more than a century ago. The short list is sacred, as are the nominators, and documents revealing the details of the selections processes are sealed from public view for 50 years. However, there is no shortage of worthy female candidates to be the next science laureates, where here are 5 female scientists and the life-changing discoveries they have made. Cancer-causing genes. In the 1970s, while it was understood that cancer sometimes run in families, cancer research was focused on viruses with a background in researching the genetic differences between humans and chimpanzees. Dr. Mary Clark King, now a professor of medicine and of genome sciences at the University of Washington School of Medicine, took a fresh approach. She discovered the role a mutation of the BRCA1 gene played in breast and ovarian cancer. The discovery has enabled genetic testing that can identify women who are at increased risk of breast cancer, as well as steps to reduce their risk, such as additional screening and preventive surgeries. Vaccine breakthrough. Dr. Katalin Kariko, a senior vice president at BioNTech based in Germany, won 2021 Lasker Award, an honor which is often seen as a precursor to the Nobel Prize, along with Drew Weissman, a professor in vaccine research at the University of Pennsylvania. She pioneered a method of using synthetic messenger RNA to fight disease that involves changing the way the body produces virus-fighting material. While their paper received little attention when first published in 2005, their research is now the basis of 2 widely used COVID-19 vaccines. astronomical curiosity. Bell, a physicist from Northern Ireland, contributed to the discovery of the pulsar, a puzzling astronomical phenomena, as a postgraduate student at Cambridge University. However, it was her supervisor Anthony Hughes, who received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1974, who got credit for the discovery. In interviews, Bell has been magnanimous about being overlooked, saying she was proud the stars she observed had convinced the prize committee. My contemporaries were more upset about the Nobel than I was not to be recognized. One of them labeled it the Nobel Prize. She said in an interview, in 2018, she was awarded a special breakthrough prize in fundamental physics, for which she received £2.3 million. She donated the money towards helping people from underrepresented groups become physicists. Revolutionary chemistry. Dr. Carol Bartolozzi, a professor at Stanford University, has pioneered a field and a new field called biothermal chemistry, which focuses on chemical reaction with living cells that can be conducted with interfering in innate cellular processes. She sought to understand why cells are coated in sugar and how these sugar molecules contribute to conditions such as cancer, inflation, and bacterial infection. Modifying these cells through bioorthogonal chemistry has led to new ways to treat many diseases. She owns this year's Wolf Prize for Chemistry and is also an active campaigner for LGBT rights. Beyond the report, Fosak TV.